More than 70 years after the end of the Second World War, Russia and Japan have yet to fully put it all behind them. Speaking in September at a conference alongside his Japanese counterpart, Russian President Vladimir Putin said he wanted a peace treaty signed between the two countries by the end of this year. And at the heart of the issue is a territorial dispute between the two countries over a region, a series of islands straddling Japan and Russia. The Russians know them as the Kuril Islands, and the Japanese refer to them as the Northern Territories. And this was an archipelago seized by the Soviet Union at the end of the Second World War, and Stalin later expelled most of the Japanese population from these islands. So the modern day population, the modern day residents of this region are mostly Russian, but they remain very isolated both from Russia and the rest of the world. Speaking in Singapore, President Putin said that some reinterpretation would need to be done over a declaration signed between Russia and Japan in 1956. That officially ended the war and restored diplomatic relations between the two countries. But within that text was a promise from the Soviet Union to hand back some of the smaller islands in the archipelago to Japan. But it stated that that wouldn't take place until a peace treaty had been signed, and of course that hasn't yet happened. President Putin is keen to put the past behind him to develop economic ties with Japan, which it sees as a potential major trading partner. But Prime Minister Shinzo Abe of Japan has been less publicly optimistic over the prospect of a peace treaty being signed anytime soon. But also speaking in Singapore, he told journalists that he plans to visit Russia in early 2019, and he said that he's confident that they can put this territorial dispute behind them eventually. But with neither leader really willing to capitulate on the ownership of these islands, it's difficult to see how that peace treaty can be signed. Julia Chapman, Channel News Asia, Moscow.